But there are a few cases where you could get just a spill and a dispersion, not a fire. And we looked at how far the dispersions would go. Dispersions of this LNG vapor, it's a cold vapor. And it could go as much as a mile, 2 miles from a ship. So if it did get into a populated area and it was ignited, it would burn back to the ship, and then you would end up with a pool fire also. If you're within a couple of 100 meters of the ship and you're in the pool fire, those hazards are very high. We're talking about that you can melt steel in 20 or 30 minutes. If you're a mile from the ship, you're essentially don't have much of a thermal hazard at all. You kind of have it's what we call a if you have if you're covered, if you have shirt, shoes, pants, dresses on, you can easily walk away from a fire, the fire intensity at that level. What happens if you have that type of event where you have a breach, which is what we call it, and you get a spill and it's not ignited with the initial breaching event? In other words, there's no sparks, it's not from an explosive, and it begins to disperse. It will disperse in the downwind direction, and it will disperse until it comes into contact with an ignition source. So if that's 200 or 300 meters, 400 meters down the road, and it begins to get ignited, it will burn back to the pool and become a pool fire. As it is ignited, it begins to burn back at a rate of about 3 or 10 feet a second. So what happens is, as it burns back, it will, if you were standing there, it would come by you in about half a second. And so your hair will get singed, your clothes will get singed, but it will not be a significant fire hazard. So we're talking about these flames and these fires from a dispersion event. As it moves, it's ignited and moves back toward the pool, is going to be a very short time, less than a second or 2 seconds. And it doesn't give the fire a chance to really do any major damage to your skin or to buildings or to structures. So it's really a relatively benign event. And we've done a lot of testing. Others have done testing in Europe, and we've seen these kinds of events that are very quick, don't put out a lot of heat, don't cause a lot of problems. What we're always looking at is, when we look at safety, you're looking at long-term impacts on infrastructure, long-term impacts on people, their health and safety, deaths, major injuries. The burn back is not a major injury; it's a minor injury.